Hello and welcome back to another edition of Raw Out of 10 right here on the Wrestle Debate. As Tom Phillips called on commentary, one of the biggest Raws ever. I wouldn't quite go that far, but it's still a big show today. Could we get a new WWE champion? Let's find out. Who knows? But sure, it'll be interesting. Also getting the return of Drew McIntyre to start off the show. And he said he wants his title back from The Miz. The Miz walked out and asked Drew why he was so upset. He kind of annoyed him for a bit before The Miz turned his attention to Lashley. MVP came out and he was angry before we got Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus after a bit of a brawl. Drew caught Sheamus on the ropes early on and dumped him onto the announce desk. Hit a future shock GDT. Sheamus did hit Alabama Slam, but Drew eventually got on top with a Claymore and won Skill 4. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Perfectly fine start to the show. Next up, Nia Jax took on Naomi. Jax was throwing Naomi all around the ring, a bit like a ragdoll, and then she went for a sunset flip, but Jax dropped her and then hit the Samoan drop. She matted Lana at ringside and then hit the one-hand choke slam before pinning Naomi for the win. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. To be honest, this was average. Kind of a bit fed up of Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler having like 20 matches a week on Raw. And also, what's Naomi done wrong for you to ruin her? I really don't understand it. Naomi's really good, so please don't ruin her. Thank you. But anyway, next up, Braun Strowman was out next. He was still angry with Shane and Adam Pearce. Shane proposed that Braun Strowman teamed with Adam Pearce against the Hurt Business for the tag team titles. Strowman was angry about it, but he still took part of the match. He tossed Alexander all around the ring. Braun was about to get the pin, but Shane came up and insisted Braun tag Adam Pearce in. Braun reluctantly made the tag, but when Adam tried to pin Benjamin, Shelton rolled him up and got the win instead. Braun had a massive strop afterwards, and that was the end of the segment. 6 out of 10. But anyway, next up, Elias and Damien Priest had a match. It was a really, really long match, this one, actually. I wasn't expecting it to go that long. Elias was cornered by Priest early on. Priest was in control for the majority of the match, and eventually hit the bell clap and then hit the lights for the win. I'll give this a 6 out of 10. It was okay match, I suppose. Not the finest match I've ever seen, but definitely not the worst match I've ever seen. And the push for Damien Priest continues, and to be honest, I'm kind of all here for it. It was fine. The Miz then had his proposed match with Bobby Lashley after Randy Orton did some more of his creepy bollocks. He came down. Miz said he couldn't do it. Then the match started. Miz just walked out the ring, and that was it. We'll get the match later, maybe. 5 out of 10. Just stop this bollocks. It makes the champion look weak. But anyway, Charlotte versus Shayna Baszler. Charlotte was in control early on, before eventually Jax went for Charlotte on the outside. Charlotte returned to the ring and hit natural selection. Afterwards, she cut a promo about how tough it's been since she returned and all that. Just a terrible life for Charlotte, really. As for Shayna Baszler, I feel bad for her. 5 out of 10. But anyway, next up we got Riddle and Lucha House Party versus Retribution. Riddle and T-Bar started the match off before Lindsay and Metalik picked up the win with a double team, and then we moved straight on to Riddle versus Mustafa Ali in a non-title match. Riddle hit a Pele kick straight away to get on top, before Ali captured on distractions from the outside and managed to get the win. I'm kind of a fan of this. Riddle versus Ali wouldn't be bad, but I still hope you get Riddle v Kofi at Mania. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. But then it was main event time, The Miz versus Bobby Lashley for the title. The Miz tried to escape and tried to negotiate, but it didn't work. Lashley tossed Miz outside and put in a hurt lock to get a new WWE champion, fucking finally. Lashley posed for the title and locked another hurt lock on The Miz as the show ended. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It took a long time to get there, but we got there in the end. Pleased with the outcome. Lashley versus McIntyre versus Lesnar at Mania, please. 7 out of 10. Very good. But overall this week, Raw gets a 6 out of 10. There were some really good bits on Raw that I really enjoyed, but there also were just some bits that just went on for ages and ages and ages and just were pretty crap. So yeah, I would say it was an okay episode of Raw compared to what we're used to, but still not the finest episode of wrestling TV ever. But anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, leave me your thoughts in the comments down below, and to follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to my channel on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.